true courage is actually, it's the willingness to feel fear and to feel doubt, the willingness to stay with these very uncomfortable feelings of not loved, unworthy, which is a very old feeling. And
welcome to this week's Mindful Monday. And for this week's Mindful Monday, I wanted to try something just a little bit different. We've been doing kind of 10, 12-minute clips of excerpts from Conscious Life. And I wanted to try something shorter. I'm curious with this vlog and podcast, what the kind of optimum length of episodes is. And with particularly Therapeutic Tuesdays, where we have the mini sessions, we need just more time for things to unfold. But I thought I'd try something a little bit shorter, so I'm going to have to keep the intro short, and I'll spend the intro filling the time. But for this week's episode, we have an excerpt from an in-person workshop with Jeff Foster. And in this workshop, Jeff is really exploring how the contact with and feeling our emotions is what takes real courage. Often we can see feeling our emotional life as being weak, and the point that Jeff's making is actually to really feel what feels difficult to feel takes real courage. So here's Jeff Foster.
Today, when I first came here, and I asked you, I said I couldn't hear, and I thought you'd kind of dismissed me and had ignored me. In fact, I think you got them to adjust the sound. That's right, isn't it? And I was sort of sitting with that kind of feeling of having been dismissed or rejected.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't.
No.
And then one or two things you said somehow enabled some kind of easing to take place.
Yeah. Beautiful, yeah. Yeah, so that's a really old feeling, the feeling of being not unheard, dismissed, not listened to, not seen, not acknowledged, not appreciated, basically not loved. It's an old feeling of I'm not loved, which in a way is like it's kind of the worst feeling of all, really. Because every child just wants to feel loved, really. It's like my dad. Oh, you really love me. You must really love me. So then, you notice someone says something, does something, for whatever reason, so that old feeling of unloved, unappreciated, unseen is triggered, and it's really uncomfortable. Because don't forget, it's linked with death. For a very, very young child, to be not seen, not heard, not loved equals to die. I mean, literally, it's there in the nervous system. It's linked for a newborn baby. To be neglected is to be dead. So they're very much linked. So actually, in a way, not feeling seen is one of the most uncomfortable feelings of all. So it does, and it takes some courage. It takes some courage to stay with that feeling, which is you may not know you have courage, that's the thing. Sometimes it takes other people to tell you have courage. It's not like you're sitting there telling yourself, oh, I'm so courageous, I'm so courageous, I'm so courageous. And also, sometimes it takes courage to not have courage. So that courage is, just to be clear, courage is not brute strength. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is some kind of willingness to be present, basically. Courage is very much linked to presence. There is only courage in presence. Courage, not as the absence of fear or the absence of doubt. Those are often these days. Those are the kinds of heroes that we're presented with. That's the kind of courage we're presented with in the movies. Is the strong, too often male hero who feels no fear and feels no doubt, and that's not real courage. That's something else. The true courage is actually, it's the willingness to feel fear and to feel doubt, the willingness to stay with these very uncomfortable feelings of not loved, unworthy, which is a very old feeling. And at that point, 99% of the people in the world would run away. They'd try and distract themselves or go and buy something or go and eat something or blame. So quickly we go into blame. So it takes some courage to stay. There's courage there in the staying. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes we don't feel able to stay. We don't know how. But I think it takes some courage to admit that.
I hope you enjoyed that excerpt from The Way of Rest with Jeff Foster. You can watch the full workshop on consciouslife.com with a free 14-day trial. And let me know if you preferred the shorter clip versus the longer clips. Your feedback is really important, so please let me know. Tomorrow it's Therapeutic Tuesday, and we actually have a part 2. So I did a mini session with Katrina, which we released, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And about 5 weeks after that first session, I filmed a follow-up session. So if you're curious as to how things unfolded in the 4 or 5 weeks after the first session, you can find out. And we also go a little bit deeper into supporting Katrina with the next step. So that's on Therapeutic Tuesday tomorrow here on Everyday Alex.
You've tried yoga, perhaps even meditation, and you've felt calmer and more aligned. But what next? In the hustle of today's fast-paced flow, how do you live a more conscious life? Our mission is to give you the tools and support you need to live a happier, deeper, and more conscious life. We have over 200 courses and more than 150 of the world's leading teachers available to you right now. It's like going on a retreat from the comfort of your own home, whenever you want, whenever you need it. With our 14-day free trial, you can get started now and discover what's possible for your inner life.